The UAE is well known for labels such as tallest, fastest, smartest, first, and so on. New mega projects are constantly being announced, and with active projects currently ongoing in the country, we can see that there is no shortage of mega projects. Today on Future Now Talks, I have with me Usama Wazeer, who is heading strategic digital projects within Etisalat Digital. Usama has led the design and delivery of several mega projects, including the Dubai Parks and Resorts project, and he is now managing Etisalat's engagement with Expo 2020, which will be open to the public from October this year. Welcome to Future Now Talks, Usama.
Thank you, Ali.
What is a mega project and how is a project defined as mega?
Right. A mega project is defined by the scale and complexity of an engagement. What that means is that you have many stakeholders on the customer side, or internally we need to bring a lot of resources to bear. Plus you may have many vendors and partners working with us. You have many work streams that need to come together in order to ensure the delivery is successful. And finally, you need to have a dedicated project management office or operations team for this project.
Can you tell us some of the mega projects that are currently going on in the region?
Sure. The region has had a very rich history of mega projects. So if you look at the UAE, we've been part of Dubai Parks and Resorts, the largest integrated theme park destination in the region. We've been part of the Dubai Library, an amazing visitor experience. And now we're part of Expo 2020, the flagship project for the UAE. But it's not just the UAE, it's also the region. So Egypt has the New Cairo project. In Saudi Arabia, they have this amazing project called NEOM, which is the establishment of a brand new city. It's going to be a hyper-automated, hyper-efficient city that's going to be the scientific and economic capital for Saudi Arabia. That tells you the scale of their ambition.
And for those kind of mega projects, what capabilities do organizations need to have in order to deliver them?
Yeah, as we mentioned, these are city-scale projects, so the approach has to be a bit different. At Etisalat Digital, we've developed a four-phased approach to these kind of engagements. We start with the design. And what design means is that you gather all of the relevant stakeholders. You do go through co-creation exercises. You go through design thinking exercises and try and develop the personas and the final result of what you want to see at the conclusion of the project. From there, you move into solutioning. And what solutioning means is that you take the design and you translate it into the technical architecture. The technical architecture will include the back-end components, it'll include the middleware, and it'll include the front-end applications as well as systems. To do these first two phases, you really need to have the expertise. So we need to be able to bring to bear industry experts, be it IoT or cloud or cybersecurity or smart cities or defense and so on and so forth, who can find the best fit solutions for that requirement. Then from design, we move into delivery. And when we talk about delivery, it really is about orchestration. And orchestration means that because we have all of these work streams that we need to deliver, we need to be able to have a team that's capable of bringing all of the pieces together at the right time, in the right way, and not just manage these internally, but also integrate with all of the third parties who are going to be part of the picture, right? What this means for us typically is that you would have entities like the Road and Transport Authority, you would have various state agencies, you'll have a lot of the other technology partners, you'll have construction, and all of these need to mesh with what we are delivering as well. And to do that, you need a team. And the team is not just a project director and project managers, that's an important component, but also to have the site engineers, to have the solution architects, to have the health and safety, to have the quality assurance, operational leads, and so on and so forth. And these people then need to be able to adapt, they need to be agile, because for sure on an engagement of this complexity, you're going to run into things that you don't expect, that you don't plan for. And to be able to adapt and change is quite important because these are multi-year projects. The last piece is the operations. And everyone wants to have 24/7 availability. They want to make sure that you have the right tools, the right processes, the right people, and you want to make sure that you're compliant to the right process, the right standards like ITSM and so on. But it's also about readiness for operations. So if I were to take Expo as an example, pretty much every 2 weeks from now to the date of opening, we are going to have various operational exercises. And what these exercises are things like disaster recovery testing. There are test events, there are technical rehearsals. The goal is to stress the operational teams, to push the tools, the people, the processes, and see if something breaks, so that when the event rolls around, we are actually ready to operate this event.
So our engagement with Expo, can you tell us how Etisalat was involved? What was our scope? What are the things that we did? Some of the things that you have came across as part of this mega project.
So with Expo 2020, we've been working with them for the past 6 years. That's from the time of the bid all the way to where we are now. The theme of Expo was connecting minds and creating the future. The ambition that we went into with Expo as Etisalat was to build the fastest, smartest, most connected site on Earth. And what that means is we started with the infrastructure, the network infrastructure. So you had to have the fastest network available. So we've got 5G coverage across the site, in every corner, in every building. We've got 600 kilometers of fiber that's been pulled within that 4.5 square kilometer site. That's delivering things like, of course, the broadband network, but also their physical security network, their media network, their campus network, and so on. Then on top of that, we've built 2 data centers on site for hosting their local low latency requirements. We're also hosting them on our One Cloud as well as on Amazon Web Services as a multi-cloud provider. So we're managing their entire cloud deployment. Then the next layer is the applications. So we're actually building pretty much a very substantial portion of the applications that they have. So we start with the website, the mobile app, the command and control platform, the ticketing platform, the marketing platforms, etc. Working with partners, of course, but under our responsibility. And then the final piece is the operations. And here we have not just building up an operational capability from a service desk standpoint, but we're also operating all of their applications. And we are operating the field staff that are necessary to deploy this on the ground. And we're doing all this for Expo, but in addition to that, we are also supporting the 190 plus countries that are setting up within that site. I would say that the site is probably the most amazing thing I have ever seen. And I would hope that everyone has an opportunity to visit once the gates open in October and see for themselves.
We're looking forward to see what happens in October. And now if you think beyond October on the future, if I ask you one thing that you want to preserve or protect, to keep from now and keep with you to the future, if you had to choose one thing, what would it be?
I think the past year has been tough for all of us. We've adapted to working from home. We've adapted to remote work and so on. And that's worked. To a large extent, it has worked. But what I've missed really is the human contact, the water cooler conversations, the casual conversations that happen when people run into each other in the corridor. And I do think those have value. And I hope that with the rush to digitization, we don't lose that along the way.
And if I ask you the other way around, if there's something in the future that you think might happen and you can bring it today, what would you choose?
Yeah, I think it's the flip side of the coin to what I just answered, which is, we've seen over the past year tremendous movement in the collaboration tools, organization adoption, as well as, the vendors themselves have come out with new enhancements, et cetera, that make it so much easier to work. I really look forward to seeing where that goes over the next few years. I think the digital collaboration tools are what I really look forward to being able to bring into our way of work.
Thank you for joining me on Future Now Talks, Usama.
Thank you, Alia.
At Future Now, we bring the latest technologies and solutions by collaborating with scale-ups, IoT developers, and our customers. And that's what the Future Now Talks are all about. So stay tuned.